Hello and welcome guys. Today we are going to learn about the functions available in the C++. So there are basically two types of functions available. The one is the built-in functions, which is also called as the library function, and another one is called as a user-defined functions. So user-defined functions are defined with the user with any name. So basically the library functions are the functions which are declared inside the C++ header file, such as ceiling function, cost function, experience, average function, okay, sum function likewise, and user defined functions, which are the functions created by the C++ programmer so that he or she can use it many times. It reduces the complexity of the bigger program and optimize that code. Now there are some advantages of the functions too. One is the code reusability. It means by creating a function, you can call it many times. So we don't need to write the same code again and again in the same or another program. And the second advantage is the code optimization. Now it makes the code optimize. We don't need to write so much code. For example, if you have to check the three numbers, whatever, any three numbers, whether they are prime or not. Now, without using the function, you need to write the prime number logic three times. So there is repetition of the code and it will little bit time consuming. But if you use functions, then you need to write the logic only once and you can reuse it many number of times in the same program or the another program. Now, how to declare the function? So for that, we will syntax for function. Okay. Return type function name. Okay. Then there is a bracket. Then here we need to initialize the function code. Okay, so like this we declare the functions. Now we will create a sample program for the function. Okay, so here int main, and we will create a function over here, that is this is our return type, that is void, and our function is like function. Okay, bracket open, and here we will declare two variables, that is static int I is equal to 0. It's a static variable. About this we will learn later. Then int j is equal to 0. Okay. Now in cout we will put I is equal to I and j is equal to j. Okay. So this is used to print the output, whatever the i's value is there. Now whenever we declare the value, we need to increment that every time so that we will get the values incremented every time. Okay, so I has been incremented, j also has been incremented. Now this is our function has been declared with the logic. The what does it print? So initially we declare the value of I and j is 0, then I plus plus and j plus plus. It will increment the value of I each time whenever the function has been called, and this will print the current value, that is incremented value of the I. Okay, so here we will call the declare function, that is function. So whenever I run the code, we will see the output as C. I is equal to 1 and j is equal to 1. This is why, because we have declared the value as 0, and we have incremented in the same function before its value gets printed on the screen. Okay, so here i's value become 1 and j's value also becomes 1. That is why the value has been printed like that. Now we have run the code only for the one time. So whenever we call the function, each time the value has been incremented. Now here we will see the output. My function is come two times. Okay, we'll run it for three times. Okay, now see, I is equal to 1, j is equal to 1, I is equal to 2, j is equal to 1, I is equal to 3, and j is equal to 1. This happens. Have you seen any difference in the output? We are getting the i's value has been incremented, but j's value has been constant because it has been declared as a static. The static variable has been incrementing its value whenever the function has been called each time, but j's value is not incrementing because j is a local variable. Now about the local and global variable we will learn in the next videos because it is a different chapter. But here I can tell you that local variable means its value has been incremented in the function only once, not every time. So whenever we call from here or somewhere in the program, that incremented value has been printed only once and not it has been incremented many times. Now in functions there is a recursion also. So when the function is called within the same function, it is known as the recursion. The function which calls the same function, it is known as the recursive function. So basically a function that calls itself and doesn't perform any task after the function call, it is known as the tail recursion. And in the tail recursion, we generally call the same function with the return statement. Now we will see the example of the recursive function, which is known as factorial of a number. So for this, we will declare the main function as usual, and in which we'll declare the int factorial, and this can be the integer number only. Okay, then again we will declare the int fact comma value. Okay, so these two variables we need, and we have to take the input from the user. So del and cin, here we will put this value in the value variable. Okay, now we will assign a fact variable the factorial of value. Okay, then our output will be as the factorial of the number is equal to fact, and return 0 will return nothing. Now we will declare the factorial function. Okay, so it will be like int factorial int n, like we have declared earlier. See this one. Okay, we have declared here int with the n variable name. You can declare anything like int a or int b, whatever. So if now there is a condition, if the value of n is less than 0, Then we will put the statement as return -1, means it will says that it's a wrong value. Okay. Now if n is equal to 0, then it will return the 1. Okay. Return 1 means terminating the condition. Else there is a logic for the factorial number, that is return n into factorial n minus 1. Okay. So this is the logic for factorial of number. It means, what does it says? If we enter the number as 0, then it will print the factorial of the number as 1. Means 0's factorial is 1. So if the factorial of 5 you need to calculate, then it has to be like 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay. So this has to be 120. So 120 is the factorial number of the 5. Okay. So similarly, we will check in the same program. Okay. Now after running, it will ask me for the program number. Sorry. See, it is asking me to enter the number. So whenever I enter the 0, okay, so factorial of a number is 1, because 0's factorial is 1 always. Now again running with the another number. So I will enter as a 5. So 5's factorial is 120, as we have calculated in the program earlier. Okay. Similarly, you can calculate for any number. It will give the output accordingly. Okay. So this was the recursive function example, that is the factorial of a number. So that's it for the today, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.